The loser of this game would face a long, cold season. St Kilda going to the left of screen. Noonan went through it without the football. Craven gets a hurried kick down towards the half-forward line. Clean bowls the lot. Gastev's at the back. Chance for John Gastev. Hart does the shepherding. Gastev comes wide. Clark, I don't think he'll be able to keep it in play. And he sees it over the line.
I think it's important that the Bears, you mentioned in the preliminary, that their form has been pretty good this season. They must continue to play at that level and see if they can improve for the rest of the season. Clark again gets boot to ball, but only just. Atkinson is in there. He's at the bottom of the pack, Brodie Atkinson. First gamer, as Don said, from North Adelaide. This is John Gastev. Been a fine player for the Bears. Gastev to centre wing.
Now this fellow here's a great improver. That's Dion Scott.
Just one letter away from being a true champion. Buckley to the right half forward flank.
I was just going to make a remark that we've got Fabian and Dion out there, but
wandering.
Yes, but poor Conway passed away through the week, so all those music fans.
Conway Twitty.
Conway Twitties, Andy. Great country and western.
Well, there you go.
Started in rock and roll and finished in country and western.
Good trivia brought to our notice as Buckley tries to get the ball clear for the Bears in towards half forward. Francis, handball. Merritt beaten for it by Peckett. Devonport goes after it. Merritt's in there to tackle. Gets the hand pass clear. Nearly to the goal front. Taken away by Shanahan for St Kilda. Short kick has been marked by Morris. Morris is in the left back pocket for the Saints. He kicks in towards the centre half back area. No mark taken by Burke. Chance now for Atkinson. He gets the little kick to the ball. It goes out near the wing. Opportunity for Hart, but he's beaten for it by Nathan Burke. And that kick may have been on the full by Hart.
Yes, actually, I think you're right there. I think you're right, but a little technical. But anyway, here it is. Did it bounce? No, it did dribble over
along the ground, maybe.
Yes.
A chance there for Greg, but he overran the football. In there is Clark for the Brisbane side. His kick towards half forward, nearly marked by Windsor, gathered nicely in front of Peckett, but just took the football over the line, and a boundary throw will take place just into Brisbane Bears forward half. It's Scott and Bingham doing the ruck work.
Bingham, Burke, Scott, hurried kick up towards the half forward line.
No, he ducked his head. No, he ducked his head then.
And he's got the free kick.
Got the job tagging Robert Harvey by the look of it.
Noonan to the half forward line. Unable to complete the mark was Paul Pios. Bears having the numbers. There was Alexander, former Pie, in towards goal, and the ball spinning away to the right forward pocket. And soccer tactics used by Justin Peckett.
You can see how the ball pulled up then, Sandy. That's an indication of how wet this ground is here. Actually, as we mentioned, the sun's out, but gee, you wouldn't have thought so earlier that the sun could come out today.
Danny Frawley brings it back into play. He's playing his 197th game. Here's Tim Pekin towards centre wing. McLean used the body nicely, but it's Anderson who comes away with the football. Across to one of the forgotten men down at Moorabbin in David Grant. Down towards the forward zone. Good tackle on White. It's his birthday today and he'll know all about it. Off to Troy Clark. Clark from the half-back line goes towards centre wing and the boundary line. And over.
And while congratulations are in order, we should also... No, it's not over, Sam.
It's not over. This is Troy Clark again. You'll get back to those congratulations, I know, Donald. Gastev gets the hand pass away. Here's a chance for Noonan. A little chip in towards Buckley. Buckley's 75 metres out. Long and low in towards Merritt at full forward. Frawley's there with him. Merritt tucks it under his arm, then belts it out the back door. And eventually it's Pios who sees it over the line. Now, what was it, Donald?
Stewie Lowe, 150 games today.
Oh, thank you.
Boundary throw in the left forward pocket for the Brisbane Bears. Bingham up against Merritt. And Bingham does well. He's played all 9 games for the Saints so far this year. Hand pass from Greg. Found Winmar. Winmar time to settle. Short kick into the path of Grant. It slips past that player. Goes to the back where Chapman is there. Handles that slippery ball quite nicely. And he kicks it up near the 50-metre line for the Bears. Punched away by Harvey. Picked off by Francis. Held when he didn't have the football. Now play on is there. That really was not an advantage for the Brisbane side. and it goes over for a throw-in about 40 metres from the Bears' goal. Lawrence Bingham, ex-Hawthorn, but has given St Kilda pretty good service since crossing, doing the ruck work up against Merritt again. That's Tim Peakin, gets his foot to the ball, out towards Gregg and Fletcher. That could be nearly a free kick to Fletcher. No, all clear, says the central umpire, so we'll have another throw-in. These conditions should suit Fletcher, an ex-Tasmanian, and loves to get the football around the centre of the field, and a great goer is Fletcher.
You know a bit about these Saints boys too. From the throw-in. Chance for the Saints once again. Picked up by Georgia. Short to Winmar. Nicky Winmar pumps it from half back up towards centre wing. Gastev drifting across the front. Takes a timely mark.
Well, the ball hasn't been down over that St Kilda half-forward line yet.
Plays on to Buckley. Nathan Buckley drifting it in towards half-forward once more. The Bears having plenty of the football in the early stage of this game. The big man Kennedy from 45 metres set sail for goal, but he drifts it right across the face and through for one behind.
And Kennedy playing at centre half back, we ought to draw the viewer's attention to the fact that he's run right down the ground, leaving Stewart low, and that's terrific to see a backman there. We've got Dean Rice, and I think that's the youngster playing his first game there for St Peters, Damon Shaw.
That's it, Doc.
St Kilda from St Peters.
From St Peters, I'm sorry, Sandy.
Here's Atkinson for St Kilda. He kicks to the left half-forward region, and the mark is taken by Stewart Lowe. He's a long way up from centre half-forward, and he kicks into that position, which he is playing, and the ball is taken away by Hart. His kick falls in short. Windsor, hand pass, not too bad either. Noonan, his kick to centre half-forward. Leading in the race for the ball now, Pios. Merritt trying to do the shepherd, not bad. Pios's kick to the front of the square, but there's Harvey. Can he get past? No, he's well tackled. Got the hand pass away. Frawley there, and a little kick by Frawley. By gee, they're struggling, St Kilda, aren't they?
I think the conditions also, because you can see how the ball just stuck there. It just didn't run at all on the ground, and that's going to help a little bit, I suppose. A player that's just a little slow.
The Bears doing all the attacking. Out the back, Clark gets a hurried snap in towards Pios. He's tucked in the pocket, the ball close to the boundary line. Pios keeps it in play, but he needs assistance. Now it drifts away from him. Craven could have given away a free kick. And Brodie Atkinson's going to take
know a little bit about these St Kilda players too, Bowie. Craven, I'm sorry.
It's both he and Fletcher, having played with the Saints. Ashcroft, fine golfer and football, in towards full forward. Merritt had to beat a couple, couldn't do so. Peakin got the initial hand pass away. They're not out of the woods yet. Oh, Harvey's claim.
Surely. I thought that might have been a free kick on that, yes. I'd be appealing to Danny Noonan if I was you, asking the question, why wasn't I given a free kick?
Talk about Bowie. St Kilda reserves were beaten by Footscray reserves here, Sandy, 79-40, and Footscray did it very, very nicely.
Here's a snap by Ashcroft in towards full forward once again, but Russell Morris takes the mark on the last line of defence. Bears doing all the attacking.
He's resurrected his career, Russell Morris, hasn't he? It's terrific to see.
Draws the player, gives it across to Shanahan, who's down at half back, now pushes up in towards the centre. Big pack of players.
There was Carey.
Go to the man in front.
Carey
He stood his ground, and he's only a young player, Chapman, but he's going to be a great player. Off to McLean. McLean, a long kick up towards half forward. Ashcroft. Did he get clear? Again goes in towards the pocket. Merritt is there, so too Pios. Frawley finally gets it away. Up towards the half-back flank. He was looking for Chris Whitman. Also there is David Grant and Chapman. But it did go over the line, so we will have a throw-in.
Unfortunately, Brisbane just not capitalising on the scoreboard. They've had, I would say, 99.9% of the play. It's only been down to that St Kilda half-forward line once, and they just haven't capitalised on the scoreboard.
Fletcher caught with the football. Dean Gregg underneath all that, tackled by Chapman. Kick off the ground for St Kilda was by Whitman. It's taken by McLean. His kick off the ground goes back near the centre wing region. Buckley, quick little hands there. Now the Bears get clear. It's Craven. His kick towards half forward, taken by Scott. Handball for Ashcroft. His in turn goes to Francis. Francis 50 metres from goal. Short kick, too short. Too easy for Frawley. Defenders day to day. Here's a chance now for Devonport. Sweeping hand pass, Anderson. Saints just getting something going now. Up to the 50-metre line. Lowe can't take the mark. Gastev caught. Still had the football. Could have nearly been penalised. Lockett and Hart. And eventually the free kick being given against Chris Whitman, and it'll go to Sean Hart.
White from half back. It's towards Buckley. Who's holding who?
He's not a bad young player. Let's hope he stays up at the Bears, this fellow. Here he is on screen. A lot of controversy over the summer months as to where he'd go. He finished up at Brisbane. Talk is he will be going somewhere else next year. Let's hope he stays with Brisbane, though.
Kicks up towards Dion Scott, who is his target on centre wing. Ashcroft scouting. Pumps the Bears down towards their right half-forward flank, but he's very wide. Goes out of bounds on the full.
It's interesting to see that boundary umpire running in flat running shoes. You'd think you'd need a little bit more purchase. Be wearing studded boots.
Peckett, short to Anderson. The former Hawk drifts it into the middle. Mark not completed by Grant. It opens the door for Chapman, who again goes down towards Merritt. He needs someone going past. Well done by Frawley, but good persistence by Merritt. Ball spills free at the back. Shanahan sees it socket out of his hands. Down towards full forward. Francis! Oh, he could have socked with the left foot. Oh, it's still there. It's still there. Dom, control yourself and are behind finally.
You wouldn't have thought
really
that had gone through, wouldn't you? Thought Fabian Francis would get onto it initially. Here it is. What?
There.
Oh, he just slipped.
However,
then he had a miss.
Well, they lead on the scoreboard, the Bears, because they're just a little bit more prepared to try and use a few skills. St Kilda really struggling. The kick in by Frawley goes to the far side, and Whitman sees it over. The Bears are 3 behind. St Kilda yet to score, and we must reiterate that St Kilda may be going with the aid of a slight breeze down to the main scoreboard end. Bingham, Greg, tap on, Winmar, beautifully handled by Winmar. Morris slips. Now the chance for Alexander. Shot for goal is very wide, and it's out of bounds on the full. Free kick to be taken back there by Frawley.
It's very important in days like today, in adverse weather today conditions, that you get a score on the board early, because that ball becomes very heavy. You can't drive it as far. So if you can get a score early, then hang on as the quarter continues, because you play with a new ball each quarter.
Winmar has it on the outer side. He's down to centre wing, Nicky Winmar. Ball to ground once. He's got a bit of space. Has a look up forward. Lockett and White. Lockett. Did he have the football? Play on was the call. Saints fans not happy. But a throw in.
Interesting matchup, Lockett and White. White would be much quicker than Lockett. There he is on screen, the two men in question.
Not bad, would you? It's his 20th birthday, and how'd you like it when the coach says, well, here's your birthday present. Get on, Mr. Lockett. We wish him well. Greg sneaks away from Scott. Still on the 50-metre line. Chapman's hand pass. Harvey now. Claim close to the boundary line. Gee, it's going to be tough and hard out there today, and it's going to be a slog.
It's going to be quite frustrating too, I think. Players will have to control themselves.
Chapman to McLean. After went out on the full. McLean towards centre wing, and a fine diving mark taken by Fletcher. Former Saint, former Cat. Finds his teammate in Kennedy.
Kennedy's behind the wing, so his kick will carry it close to the forward area for the Bears. Beautiful roving there by Clark. Clark's little kick into the full forward region, punched away from Pios. Again there by Giorgio, but the kick goes clear and the mark is taken by Craven.
He'll be anxious to do well against his old side today, Danny Craven.
Well, they are doing well, aren't they? They've had 36 kicks to 26, 20 hand passes to 11, 10 marks to 5. So it's all the Bears in the early part of the game. The kick towards full forward.
Oh, it's
Windsor.
fallen into his arms.
Windsor's marked 20 metres out directly in front.
Could you believe that? Everybody flew. Windsor, look, he really wasn't interested. The ball had more or less gone. He thought, oh yes, drop the arms. But it stuck.
Well, he did kick a big score at Carrara. I think it was the goal that levelled the scores when they played a draw against the West Coast Eagles, Ray Windsor. And he kicks the first goal of the game.
Wasn't he very fortunate there? The first goal of the game, Ray Windsor. We might get this on replay. How the ball went over the head of both Frawley. Here it is from Fabian Francis. Merritt and Frawley, and he just, for an instant, dropped his hands.
Excellent start by the Bears, considering they're going into the breeze. So for our viewers in Brisbane, hope you're enjoying this at the moment as Buckley gets it out. The advantage is going to be paid to Brisbane. Alexander kicks up towards the 50-metre line. In fact, over. Merritt is there. So too Frawley. Now Peake. Oh, he almost threw that out to Harvey. He was happy to accept it, however, and goes across to Winmar on half-back. Nicky Winmar steadies it down for the Saints. Kicks towards centre wing. The Saints have been down in their forward zone only once. Chapman, short to Noonan. The Bears have looked good at the Gabba this year. They've got to look good away. Ashcroft under pressure gets a kick down into the pocket region. Goes over the line. Pios and Shanahan. And a throw in.
Well, Pios, right shoulder heavily strapped there. You get a good shot of that. What he has done to his shoulder, but Paul Pios, an acquisition of this side. Let's hope he can be a little more consistent in his game and his approach.
Burke, hurried kick. Bears have the numbers, and that could almost be 50. Lucky Scott to take it. Greg very fortunate. He finds Fabian, who goes long up towards full forward. Can someone take a mark? Fisted clear, but how clear? That's the question. Pios onto the left foot, snaps, but he's wide.
A little bit predictable too, Sandy, what the Bears are doing, how they look for Merritt into the forward line. In actual fact, Merritt had three fellows to compete against, the St Kilda fellows to compete against. Now, Pios has really got to get around, and the other fellows have got to run down with the flight of the ball and scoop on the crumbs.
Winmar's had 5 kicks. Free kick in the centre of the ground to St Kilda to be taken by Morris. Falling down across the half-forward line. They kick towards low. Kennedy there.
Look out.
Now a chance for Devonport, taken by White. Well done. Handled it very nicely. Chapman, McLean, goes further back for Hart. And the Bears work it around quite nicely to clear. Windsor, tap over. Buckley. Buckley's hand pass. Noonan looking to give the hand pass off again to Buckley. Quickly. Clark in a bit of trouble. Caught by Whitman. Slung as he kicks, and it's punched away by Bingham in the finish for a boundary throw-in.
Well, I suppose a little bit too zealous on that occasion. The Bears with their handball. Kick would have sufficed instead of a handball. Nonetheless, it hasn't gone out of their forward line.
Scott taken from Peckett. Fletcher's there. Ball still to be cleared by St Kilda. Giorgio is the player on the bottom of the pack, and he will receive the free kick. Long kick in towards the centre of the ground. The mark taken by Morris. Morris has a chance to give it to Anderson. No, he goes straight towards Lowe. Lowe at centre half forward. Can't take the mark. Kennedy there to mop up for the Bears. Kick smothered by Winmar. Well done. Winmar after it again. Kick off the ground by McLean. Goes through. Well trapped there by Clark. Still a ball to be won. Lowe. Handball. Anderson. Anderson a chance. Unselfishly. They should get a goal here. Devonport over the top. Lockett is in the square on his own, and he'll kick it for St Kilda.
Well, it's always the way. When a team has as much possession as what the Bears have, it usually rebounds so easily, and St Kilda did on that occasion. They scored what turned out to be a rather easy goal with a series of handballs. 1, 2, and now Devonport over the top. He could have gone for a kick, but saw Lockett by himself. And Lockett's first goal, he was on the end of a chain of hand passes.
So the Saints are on the board, but they trail by 3 points, and they're kicking with the aid of what breeze there is here. I've got Don's problem. Out of the centre. Gastev off the ground. Gains 35 metres. Morris still on centre wing. Russell Morris pumps the Saints up towards Lockett and White once again. Lockett gains front spot, then lost the football. White gets it over the top. Chance for the Bears to clear. Hart up towards the half-back flank. Gastev taken high. Advantage paid? No.
Why wasn't the advantage paid? Because Michael McLean had the ball. This is a free kick. There's the free kick. Now, do we follow up because the advantage was with the Bears? Oh, interesting. Isn't Darryl White doing a good job on Tony Lockett on man-to-man now? He's much smaller, but he is quicker, both in leg speed and also in reaction. Darryl White.
Gastev to centre wing. Harvey had it, but lost it. Pekin sees it come out to his teammate in Brodie Atkinson. Into the middle. Stewie Lowe will have a look up forward. Where's Plunkett? White's with him. Lockett, too strong.
Good mark, Sandy.
Excellent mark. Excellent mark. These conditions too.
Still a bit slippery, and the breeze helping the football. Lockett judged that very, very well.
Yes, it was a case of judgment, not a case of strength, just a case of judgment, because it wasn't really a hand or body on body, it was just better judgment.
So Tony Lockett looking for his second. This to give St Kilda the lead. Just on 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Directly in front. 25 metres out. Should not miss. Does not miss. 2 to Lockett. 2 to the Saints. Donald.
Averages between 5 and 6 goals a game, Tony. Tony Lockett, 5 to 6 I said, Ian, not 4.5, but
4.85 is
yes,
between 4 and 5.
That's
is that right?
Yes, that's what I said. You really can't kick 4 goals, 0.85, can you? But you can kick either 4 or 5.
4.85 is between 4 and 5, isn't it? Not between 5 and 6. 2 goals to St Kilda and 2 goals to Tony Lockett. They lead by 3 points. 4.5 minutes left. There's a free kick being picked out of the ruck contest, and it will go to Bingham. So Bingham, he's been St Kilda's #1 ruckman for most of the year so far, and he will kick St Kilda into attack. Good long kick. Oh, could have been nearly a free kick to Lowe. Craven kicks it out of that crush of players. Gastev tackled by Whitman, but got his foot to the ball and kicked it out towards the wing. Peckett beaten for it by Alexander. Hand pass ineffective. Atkinson getting a few touches. Handball's wider for Burke. Shares it with Greg. Greg from 70 metres out. Short pass, good. Low. Low again. Short kick into the pocket. Mark taken by Winmar, who's covering some territory on that far wing. Getting kicks earlier in the quarter in the back pocket, and now he'll have a shot for goal from about 25, 30 metres. Difficult angle though. Nicky Winmar, very, very talented player for St Kilda. Only a few steps, guides the football and kicks a great goal. Third goal for St Kilda, and all of a sudden they've got a reasonable score on the board. They were very ordinary up until about the 6 minute, or with 6 minutes left, they kicked their first goal. They now lead by 9 points.
Well, there's really no justice in football, is there? When you look at the scoreboard, they've had 3 shots for goal, and each of those have been goals. Whereas Brisbane have had 4 shots for goal and kicked 1 goal 3. And also, Brisbane have had more of the play.
3 goals in 4 minutes for the Saints. Sees them with the lead, but it's Alexander who's got a free kick out of the centre. Dark clouds overhead here at Waverley Park. He gets the hand pass away to Nathan Buckley. Well, if there's a breeze here, he's kicking magnificently because that goes right down to half forward. Shanahan couldn't take the mark. Socket off the ground. First to it should be Brodie Atkinson. This is kick number 5 for the youngster having his first game. Off to Greg on centre wing. 3 minutes remaining. Greg will pump St Kilda down to half forward once again. No one able to complete the mark. Lockett and White come out. Spills free to Harvey. Robert Harvey had a great State of Origin game and he puts through a behind on that occasion.
And coming off the ground, Colin Alexander playing on the wing for Brisbane, and David Bain, the little fellow from Western Australia, who's been a stalwart for that Brisbane side for quite a few years, is on the ground. There's actually Colin Alexander on the phone to Robert Walls.
Gastev. Whoa! Now Tony Lockett's came at him and it's going to be a free kick down the ground. To centre wing. At the back, Fletcher. High kick. Out of bounds on the full. Anderson to bring it back.
Anderson transfers play near the centre of the ground. Good mark taken there by David Grant. Handball. Giorgio in trouble. Should never have called for the footy. And he's caught and will be penalised.
Shades of Robert Muir there. I saw the black hair of number 32. I'm not talking about the action, but just 32 and black hair.
McLean. Kick to the 50-metre line. Taken by Shanahan. Gets a quick kick back near the centre of the ground. It beats all players, but Nathan Buckley, brilliantly done. The skill level excellent. Anderson has the footy and kicks St Kilda to within scoring distance, and out comes Beck Tony and marks on his chest, and already the ominous signs for the Bears as Lockett has a chance for his 3rd goal.
Well, here's Lockett. White just too far behind him. I think it'd be better if White went back to what he was doing initially, and that was getting in front of Lockett, backing himself and running at the ball.
Well, also the football was coming down very, very slowly, wasn't it, which gave him some chance. The last 4 or 5 minutes, St Kilda have at least moved the football in with some sort of system.
Last time they met, Robbo, Tony Lockett booted 12 against the Bears.
Was that at the Gabba?
No,
he played a fantastic game up there.
Yeah. Yes, I was there last year at the Gabba, yes.
Crashing through packs and kicking goals from 50 metres. And he kicks. And it looks pretty good. It's a goal.
Well, his 3rd goal. 4-1. You can see that. 5 shots at the scoreboard. They've kicked 4 goals. It's good conversion rate, isn't it? But see, when they get it here, Anderson will break from the centre there, and with the long kick. Now, this is the way forwards like the ball being brought into the forward line quickly. And he did it with a long kick on that occasion.
Well, the Bears dominated the first 15 minutes, but since then it's been all St Kilda. Low, down to the forward line once again. White leaves Lockett and charges forward, but it's going to be St Kilda through Devonport. Shoots towards goal and has kicked a miraculous goal!
Oh, everything's come alive here at Waverley. St Kilda.
Don Scott.
Certainly, and Sandy Roberts.
5 in 9 minutes. 5 goals in 9 minutes, Donald.
Unbelievable. Look at this goal.
Only 7 seconds left too, Don, in the first quarter.
Oh.
Very, very talented player is Craig Devonport.
Back in the middle once again.
Wet
ball being thrown up.
Why is he throwing it up? Because he's got a rubber pad there. He can bounce the ball.
Scott's kick partly smothered. Siren time as Ashcroft tries to get it away, and Scott again. But it's quarter time. The honours with St Kilda after the Bears dominated early. 5-1. 31. Leading Brisbane 139.
First 20 minutes was excellent, but the last 6 minutes, St Kilda have kicked 5 goals and they lead by 22 points.
Exactly right. 31 plays 9. There's going to be a free kick out of the centre, and it's going to go the way of the Bears. It's going to be taken by Dion Scott. Well, let's see if he can pump himself up after that tongue lashing. Down towards full forward, towards Merritt. Couldn't complete the mark. Oh, Buckley at the back can finish it off.
And does.
So A great start for Brisbane in the second quarter. Nathan Buckley gets his first, and just what the Brisbane Bears needed.
And I mentioned also in that first quarter about the conditions, how there are adverse conditions today. The ball's going to get heavy. Now the ball is dry. That's why it carried as far as it did. It was Dion Scott in the centre of the ground, a high ball, Buckley running onto it, but that ball will get heavier. As the quarter goes on, the players will struggle to kick the distance that they did in that instance.
So it's going to be important to get context of the game to get a score on the board early.
Early, because a new ball each quarter, Ian.
Yep. Point taken. Ball still to be won, and a free kick going to the Bears. I thought Robert Harvey may have been the possessor of the football, but it goes to Craven. Craven's kick, not too bad, up towards half forward, taken by Whitman. He's caught, but he moves the ball on, which is important. Harvey gets the hand pass clear. Bingham, well done Ashcroft, keeping his footing, gathering the football, up towards full forward, taken now by Frawley. A dour defender in the real sense of the word, and he kicks it wide where the mark is taken for St Kilda by Greg.
Kick number 4 for Greg. Wobbles it towards Anderson. He spins into trouble in the form of Marcus Ashcroft. Gastev has it, and he's straight to the ground with the football.
The players would be unaware of this as well, but the rain is definitely going to come here at Waverley any second, and that is also not going to help the Bears in catching up, because the ball is going to be very harder to handle. And Brisbane, St Kilda on the other hand, they'll appreciate it because they've got a bit of a lead at the moment.
Chapman sees it socket straight out of his hands. Grant tries to go again with Gastev. Scott picks it up. Down comes the rain. To centre wing goes Scott. Pekin trying to spoil. They've given away a free kick.
And that breeze is rather strong too, blowing from right to left on screen. And that's the way the Bears are kicking. But
it's coming down now. The crowd are diving for cover, Sandy.
They certainly are. Windsor kicks in towards half forward. No one able to take the mark. Fletcher quick to apply the tackle, but the ball was held in, said the umpire, so he'll have a ball up. Andrew Coates and Mark Westgarth, incidentally, are the umpires. Oh, it is really starting to bucket across now. And in fact, it's sleeting rain.
It's sheets, isn't it? Sheets of rain.
It's like working with someone from the Bureau, Don. Still on half forward for the Bears. Scott tries to soccer off the ground. Nathan Burke at the bottom of the pack.
There's hailstones too.
Oh. Well,
we've got everything. We're going
to have snow here any minute.
Well, we could.
Gee, this is making it tough. It looks all right, perhaps on your monitor, but take it from me, this is wild woolly. Look at those hailstones.
Do they get reported for striking?
Well, the drought has broken.
Oh, dear me, look at that.
And have a look at that shot.
Have you ever seen a game of football cancelled because of weather conditions? I don't think there ever has been, Sandy.
Well, I played out here at Waverley in the night series, mid-70s. It was 3 degrees, but we never put up with conditions. Actually, we trained in conditions like this one night. John Kennedy made us play through it. But, it was horrible.
It couldn't get any worse than that, could you?
Oh, no. And really, they do hurt when they come down and belt you in the face, those hailstones.
Well, I think that was Ashcroft kicking it in towards the centre. It's so difficult to see. This is McLean. He's going to be pulled back, though. He's got to give it back to his teammate in Chapman. Chapman is going to kick the Bears down towards their forward zone. The hailstones continue to come down. There's a mark taken by Pios. Well, the visibility is so bad he had to put his hand up.
Well, he's got his head
pelted
down into his shoulder, but to protect himself from the hailstones. The ferocity of these hailstones. I suppose you've got to be outside there to appreciate it, Sandy.
And we won't be going out.
No, I can assure you we'll be sitting just here.
Good effort by Pios there to judge that and take a good, safe chest mark.
Now, I'm not exaggerating. I don't think we're all that far from snow here, you know.
Well, they're not disintegrating when they hit the ground. As Pios goes for goal, what has he done?
I think he's kicked it. He has.
Well, the umpire was under a lot of duress, the goal umpire, because he was protecting himself from the hailstones. Must have just took a little peek, saw the ball go over his head. Oh, look at Paul Pios. There's a kick from Chapman. Pios will feature with the chest mark.
Those boys will be wondering.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
We'll wear our shorts down from Brisbane, and they've lobbed here. Oh, my hat.
Oh.
Talking about the players, what about the crowd that have come out here to watch this game?
They're still sitting out in it, some of this crowd.
Absolutely amazing football supporters. Harvey Greg. Greg's kick doesn't go the required distance, I wouldn't think. Burke is in there, slipping and sliding with the hailstones, and eventually the umpire will call for
Tony
fouls.
Lockett down the other end of the ground's got the hand up to the forehead, shielding him his eyesight from the hailstones. And there's a little man or boy, girl, whatever, rugged up. We can't say, we say somebody, anybody.
Here's a chance now for St Kilda. Greg, well picked up by Greg. 50 metres from goal. He kicks to the front of the goals. Lockett's got a free kick for holding. Big burly Tony. He kicked 3.
White should have been in front again, but maybe he's been put off.
What a brilliant pick-up by Greg.
From standing start, a high ball, and if you're in front in conditions like today, you're really going to reap the reward. Well, if you're in front any time in a game of football, you're going to reap the reward. And the stones, no, they're still coming down.
Well, difficult kick here for Lockett because he's got to see this football right onto his boot. Oh, very well done by the big fellow. 4 goals to Tony Lockett on a day when goal kicking is very, very difficult. Look at that rain. It's nearly going horizontal now. 6-1 to 3-3.
Well, there's still hailstones, not as heavy, or as big, I should say, as what they were. You can see them on the ground. Very cold here in Melbourne. They predict snow, and I think they'll get it in some suburbs. I think it's snowing in the Dandenongs. Is that right?
This morning, yes.
There's a cameraman. Yes, I'd give it away too.
Right, back in the middle. The Saints holding a handy lead of 16 points. This is McLean. Goes with a high kick out of the centre. Down towards half forward. Harvey chasing for the Sainters. Has support, that's Pekin. Back in towards the middle, but only as far as Troy. Clark. Clark drifts it towards Nathan Buckley. Good mark on the chest. He's been in good form.
50
and he's got 50.
Now, 50 metres was introduced, Don, for slowing up play purposely and emphatically. Surely some of these are ridiculous, these 50 metres.
Yes, well, that's, I suppose, the beauty of our game. There's so much grey in it, isn't there? It's open for interpretation.
Burke's kick. He wants Lockett.
Behind again, White.
And the big man just tucked his body round it, Donald, didn't he?
Well, he did, Sandy, and really White would be better going back to the way he was playing initially. What can he lose? If he got in front, here's Stuart Lowe making position, but Lockett might have given him the call. See, coming over the back now, White is far more athletic, far more agile, quicker. If he got in front and led Lockett for the ball.
So Lockett has kicked 4. Taken 3 marks.
Slight relief from the hail and rain.
Yes. Oh, it's very mild now, really. Lockett for 5. Lockett has 5. Great performance in these conditions.
He's got a good kicking action for goal, Tony Lockett. Really, it's copybook. The taut instep, the straight knee, and the perfect follow through. It's poetry in motion. Maybe we could get this of our director. Can show a video. There he has. He's got it. Terrific. Now we'll just watch this. Beautiful kick off the boot. We just didn't catch. Oh, we've got a shot of the ball, but we haven't.
St Kilda leaves 7-1 to 3-3. Burke again in the action. Chance for Ashcroft. Can't clear the pack. Nathan Burke goes in after it again. And a ball up will take place once again. Terrible conditions here a few minutes ago when just very, very heavy hail fell. Noonan leaves it. Winmar a kick off the ground. Winmar another one. Backs himself, but Troy Clark first to get there, gives away a hand pass, back for Buckley, back to Troy Clark, tries to get clear, and he does very well. Kicks it up inside 50 metres, no mark taken. St Kilda get the numbers back. Harvey scouting beautifully. Look at this, he's got a paddock in front of himself, Nathan Burke. If he can just gather the football, which he does, and a short kick into the centre, and a good mark taken by Anderson. So St Kilda's skill level showing out. Very, very ordinary conditions. The kick in towards centre half forward. Lowe goes through the pack, can't mark. Clark, Greg, scrambles and eventually gets his foot to it, but it's not really effective. Underneath that is Giorgio and Danny Craven for the Brisbane Bears, but the umpire will be forced to throw it in the air. 7-1 to 3-3, St Kilda lead.
excellent kicking for goal, considering the conditions. 8 effective shots and 7 goals. Matt Kennedy has it at half-back. Drifts it up towards the centre. Bit of shepherding going on there. Pekin has taken the mark, however, and that's all that counts for St Kilda. Tim Pekin, this is his 180th game. Gastev in front, unable to complete the mark. Comes wide. Chance for Bingham. A high kick. Getting underneath it is Morris. Lockett is on his own. Back goes White. Lockett will come in front. And just a little bit too easy. Tony Lockett has booted 5. And this is going to be some performance. He can get a bag today in these conditions.
Well, that was Sean Hart, Brisbane Bears, who really didn't get himself in a position to cut that out. But watch this kicking style of Tony Lockett.
31 for the season. This for 32.
The ball disappears in those big hands of his.
This for number 821 in his career. Straight through the middle. 3 in the first quarter, Donald. 3 in the second.
Yes, and Sandy, that is an above-average performance for Tony Lockett. Because this year he's been averaging between 4 and 5 goals a game, and he's got 6, and we're not even at half-time. So going by this, he could kick well over 12 goals for the game.
Not much alternative for the central umpire, but to throw it in the air at those ruck contests. Struggle for clearance there. Dion Scott missed it altogether. In goes Greg for St Kilda. And the umpire will call for a ball up once again.
Roger Merritt now on Tony Lockett at full back, Ian.
Interesting one.
Well, Darryl White's now at full forward for the Bears. There was a straight shift. Maybe I would have been better advised, maybe White, to tell him just to get in front and attack the ball. There's Roger Merritt, the captain.
And he's been the key forward, really, for Brisbane this year.
Yes, they're really going to miss him up there, Sandy.
Giorgio kicks down towards Morris. Shrugs his opponent and gets clear. Russell Morris over the head of the charging Lockett. Merritt will get back on it. He may even concede a behind here. No, he's got a bit of support. Hart runs it out of the back pocket. And the mark taken by Mickey McLean. Goes to half back. Finds Craven. Just gets around Tony Lockett, and he'd be delighted about that. Goes across the ground to Kennedy.
The sun has come out here at Waverley. Would you believe it?
Kennedy's kick is long, up over centre wing. The Bears have got to find something pretty smartly. Winmar has been busy. Noonan over the top of him. But Winmar sees it over the line. Danny asked the question, but only very politely.
And the hailstones haven't dissolved. That is how cold it is here in Melbourne at the moment. The hailstones still there, despite the sun.
Giorgio attempting a tackle. And the kick came from Clark. It's out on the full, so the free kick to be taken for St Kilda by Winmar. St Kilda badly need a victory. They are languishing at the moment in 13th posse on the ladder with 3 wins and 6 losses. And at the moment, the Brisbane Bears are 1 spot above them. It is just on percentage. 98.9 the Bears, 85% St Kilda. So if St Kilda are to stay in touch with the 6, they must win this game. Buckley, Bain. Quickly David Bain, but can't control it, and it goes over on the full. So another free kick to be taken for St Kilda. Robert Walls with the phone at hand. Bruce Dool, the former Carlton champion defender, in the background there. He's doing some specialist coaching work with the Brisbane Bears. The kick goes towards Harvey. He can't control it. Noonan there getting a pat of acclamation from Clark. The ball will be thrown in at right half forward for the Bears. Well, they desperately need to get a goal. St Kilda have kicked 8-1. The Bears are 3-3. Ashcroft kicks it forward, but the mark is taken for St Kilda by Grant.
The Bears have kicked 2 straight. in this quarter, kicking with what breeze there is. Rain has cleared. Whitman has the football. From half back down to centre wing area, but there's having the numbers. Danny Noonan had the height. Off to McLean. Back again to Noonan. Just gets clear, then gets his kick away. Up towards the half-forward line. Shanahan used a fist to get clear. There's a tackle too high on Craven. Well, somehow he got it out. Dion Scott gets a hurried kick down towards the forward line. Chapman sockers off the ground and puts it through. Much needed goal for the Bears.
He's hurt himself too, young Chapman.
He's a player of the future, that young fellow. What's he done to himself? Oh,
I
it
think
might be
as
a
he
knee.
kicked it-
Is it knee or shin? He's holding
shin.
the left shin.
As he
We might
kicked it,
get
the
this-
other player came
Yeah,
across
we
him. I
might
think.
watch this on replay here of the.
Stood on his
Yes,
foot.
I think yes, that was Nathan Burke. Let's hope he's all right.
Very handy goal for the Bears. That's what they needed, however, to stay in touch. 8-1 plays 4-3. 3 straight for Brisbane in this quarter. But they need more of the same. Atkinson towards the 50-metre line for the Saints. Socket off the ground, or attempted soccer off the ground by Harvey. He's still at the bottom of the pack there with Gastev. Hard one to win. And eventually the umpire finds a free kick.
Oh,
It's going to go the way of Anderson.
Amazing. There'd be 3 or 4 in that.
Yep. He kicks down towards Harvey. That sits in the water. He may give it back to Lockett. Well, he doesn't. He held it for a fraction too long, perhaps. Lockett, a good hand pass away. Back to Lockett from Greg. Runs into trouble, does the big man. Oh, he's kicked a ripper into the post.
Ripper into the post.
Oh, dear. Can we equal that one?
I thought he'd threaded it for a moment. Even Tone can have a bit of a smile. 8-2 plays 4-3.
And Fletcher has the football in the back pocket for the Bears. His kick goes wide. Clark, did that go out on the full? Yes. Much to the delight of the St Kilda fans. And have a look at them all tucked up underneath the eaves here at Waverley. I think they might be expecting some more rail or hail or rain to come down. Morris, his kick up towards Lockett. Can't take the mark. Away goes Fletcher once again. Mark nearly taken by Whitman. Handball Bingham. Gives away ground, but there's no one home. A little bit of misunderstanding. Morris goes back to Whitman. Whitman's kick into the pocket. Atkinson goes after it and takes the mark. And he's doing well in his first game for St Kilda. That kick chopped off by Fletcher. Well done, Anderson. Takes it over. And assisted by Fletcher, boundary throw and will take place.
I'd like to see Roger Merritt up in the forward line for the Bears. Maybe they can shift someone else to full back.
Ashcroft's kick partly smothered all. Kennedy had an airy, goes in after it once again. So too does Anderson. Winmar got boot to ball, but in the meantime the whistle has sounded. Going to be a Bears free kick. It'll be taken by Danny Noonan. Tucked in the back pocket. He goes wide towards the boundary line, and the man he was looking for was Windsor. Finds him. Off to Ashcroft. It's a heavy old ball now as it spins up towards the middle. Nicely taken by David Grant, who shrugs a tackle. His kick, however, is not as good. It's intercepted by Ashcroft.
Doing well, 11 kicks.
Yep. 12 possessions to date for him. Goes back to Noonan again, who's also picking up plenty of possessions. That's number 10. But the kick
Harvey
goes
covering
straight to
some
Harvey.
ground. We saw him on the half-forward line, the ruck rover.
Well, he was in wonderful form in the State of Origin week.
Actually, Roger Merritt's come off, and Murphy has now gone to full back.
Well, Murphy's been another of the players they've used with success up in the forward line. McLean, however, on the outer side.
I wonder if Merritt's injured. Maybe that's the only reason you'd take him off, but then again, they wouldn't have put him at full back if he was injured.
Anderson caught well and truly.
They really do need the captain on the ground at full forward.
Scott towards a congested 50-metre line. Oh, some heavy work there. Giorgio goes in, and it's going to be a Bears free kick. Little Danny Craven goes straight on with it. Buckley could kick it with a heavy ball from there. He just, from a standing start, lets it go 53 metres at least, but it is
Well,
out
it
of
went
bounds.
over the boundary line. It'd have to go 70. There's Roger Merritt. Colin Alexander jogging on the spot. Merritt with the rug around.
I think they put something in our tea today. I don't know.
I think it's just that it's cold and you can't move your mouth as quick. I know.
Burke over the line. White, who'll remember his 20th birthday for a long, long time, also sees it over.
Yeah, Lockett with 6 goals certainly is
It's not the birthday present you'd want, is it?
No. Nathan Burke tries to get the ball clear. Hand pass, not too bad. Peckett has it for St Kilda. And a good effective kick wide to half back. That could be nearly a free kick. It is, and it's going to Lowe. And he's a long, long way down. He's kicking from the half-back flank region. Morris well done in front of McLean. A very effective possession there by Russell Morris. Kicks it towards half forward, but the mark is taken.
This fellow is going to develop
Chapman.
into a good player, Nathan Chapman.
Yes, plenty of ability. Ashcroft combining there with Michael McLean. McLean's kick in short. White can't take the mark. Frawley's there. It's kicked off the ground. Back goes Harvey. He's prepared to kick it off the ground. It goes to a vacant wing area. St Kilda 3-on-1. Atkinson is allowed to take possession. Stuart Lowe trying to effect a shepherd, but the ball has gone over. And maybe it was Lowe, an illegal shepherd. And the free kick will go to Francis on centre wing for the Brisbane Bears. 8-2 St Kilda, 4-3 Brisbane, and still, well, not much in it. 23 points. The Bears are kicking with the aid of the breeze. Windsor's mark and hand pass to Bain. His kick up towards full forward. Ball comes to Gastev. Gives it away for Craven. Brilliant smother. Grant, handball for Shanahan. Shanahan not messing around. Kicks it out near the wing. Chapman gets back for the Bears. His kick up towards half forward, but the mark is taken very, very well in the finish by Danny Frawley.
Comes up with Hailstone sticking to the back of his jumper. Pulls the kick
Oh, good mark.
by Ashcroft. Plays on. High, putting the Bears inside 50. No one able to take a mark. Waiting down his peak, and he gets ridden into the ground by Raymond Windsor.
It was a good effort earlier by Peckett. Peckett running with a flight of ball, just bringing it to ground. Good effort.
Giorgio to the outer side. Saints having the numbers that they can move it on. Big Lawrence Bingham goes over the top now to Brodie Atkinson. Went without it, but is able to flick it back to Bingham. Down towards Lowe. Stuart Lowe, attempted sock off the ground. Could have almost given away a free kick. Kennedy, but the whistle had sounded, and he did give away a free kick. At the bottom is Troy Clark. To centre wing. Noonan working hard. So too is Ashcroft. Now Harvey pushes the ball into the pack. Noonan and Ashcroft both tried to get it out. Windsor is there also, and eventually we'll have a ball up on the outer wing with...
Isn't it interesting if we could really pan...
Sorry, Don.
Yes, I'm sorry, Sandy, but if we could get a shot of this ground, everybody is around the action. Nobody on the Brisbane Bears forward line except the full forward and full back, and they're on the edge of the square. Very interesting sight indeed here at Waverley.
Well, wouldn't you like to be on the ball? Because if you're standing there
you'd be
doing
freezing.
nothing, you'd have to be
You'd
like
be
an icicle, wouldn't you?
Paul Pios is the full forward. Jamie Shanahan is his opponent of full back.
Scoring has now become very difficult. Windsor gets a short kick down towards McLean in the boundary line. Did he keep it in? Yes, Baines at the bottom of the pack. Now it's
Very difficult.
cry of ball, but difficult to umpire.
I was just going to say, Sandy, as hard as it is for the players, it must also be difficult for the umpires. Certainly to give equal amounts of decisions either way, I think.
Why have you got to give them either way? You just got it. That's balancing the game out.
Well, that's the way it should be. Because they're
Why
not
do you
all
give them one? You take one.
They're not all blatantly one way. The kick by Craven, nearly marked by Grant. Whitman tries to get the hand pass away. Grant knocked off it by White. Away goes McLean. McLean's kick to the front of the goals. He got his foot to it. Paul Pios, but it's hit the post. Oh, gee, it was a bit stiff. Did that pretty well in the finish.
Those hailstones still there on the ground. Gee, it must be cold out there if they haven't evaporated.
Shanahan kicks into the near side, looking for Peckett. Burke dives on the football, but it slips out of his hand. He's after it again, Nathan Burke. Gather is very, very good by Pickett. And an effective kick up past the wing. Shepherding by Morris was not bad, but not quite as effective as Atkinson would have liked. Back to Morris, kick off the ground. Gather by Clark, handball to Bain. Bain now in the clear, kicks it into the centre. The Bears in the way of Ashcroft. Takes the mark. Handball for Kennedy. Kick smothered off the boot. Back goes Greg. Oh, a bump would really could have gone for the football. Gastev kicks it long. Up towards the foot. Good mark taken by Windsor in front of Grant.
Now, good because he fell over initially, then got to his feet and took the chest mark. What a terrific effort by Windsor, playing in the forward pocket. Oh, and there he is, just getting, oh, missed it. Just getting to his feet he was. He was just getting to his feet.
That was about 5 or 7 metres away. He slipped over, you're saying.
Oh, well, he just slipped over.
Gathered his footing
just got up onto his feet, then took the chest mark.
Yes.
Terrific effort by Windsor.
Well, he's kicked a goal, so he has a chance to kick his second goal. Ray Windsor. Kicking from 40 metres. Not a bad kick. Has it got the distance? No, it's dropped in the goal square. Still the Bears struggling to try and get clear. And the umpire will call for a bounce in the square.
Change is about to be made there on the boundary line. Dean Rice, number 37 for St Kilda there, doing the twist, warming up. And Roger Merritt about to come back on for Brisbane.
Just a couple of minutes remaining in the first half. Scott beaten in the rucks. An attempted sock off the ground goes straight to Nathan Burke, who heads towards the boundary line. Winmar is there. Loses the football. Burke gets another little toe poke at it. Picked up by Fletcher, tries to send it back in towards full forward, but it's hammered over the line by Shanahan.
I think Shanahan would have played in these conditions before. He was recruited from Tasmania.
What do they play in these conditions down there?
I think it gets a bit cold and wet down in Tasmania.
Well, I got a letter from a lady very irate saying that we do have good weather down here in Tasmania occasionally.
Well, we do here in Melbourne too, Donald.
I wouldn't doubt that, probably from about September through to March.
Danny Frawley would be the other one who'd be used to these conditions in Ballarat.
My word.
Ballarat isn't the coldest hole in Victoria. I'll go he.
Oh, that's nice thing to say.
Well, my truck broke down there up there one night, Sandy. I had to sleep out, and so I can tell you
I'm sure anyone in
cold.
Brisbane are interested in Dom's truck breaking down in Ballarat, Sandy.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, dear.
It's almost half time. Don sold that truck now, for those of you interested.
I did too.
I know.
I wonder who's got the same trouble with it.
Scott. Low, Winmar. To half forward. Devonport missed it. Morris. Morris again. He may lose it to Hart. He does. They're mucking around with it. And it's opened the doors for the Bears. Buckley on the end, but he's ignored. Taken by Clark. Clark's kick up towards centre wing. Oh, Lowe had eyes only for the football. He's still going, Stuart Lowe. And eventually it is pushed over the line at centre wing.
He's hurt himself, Lowe, too. Let's hope he's all right, because that's not a good sign, because he usually does get to his feet no matter what happens. Stuart Lowe, a tough customer. Playing his 150th today.
Out the back, Nathan Burke. Hurried kick. Morris is the stumbling block. Kennedy
Stuart
is
Lowe
there, but
doesn't look too good, Sandy. He's still down there in the hands of trainers.
as the siren sounds, he's being lifted to his feet now. And in these very cold conditions, Stuart Lowe is certainly not 100%. Comforted by Nicky Winmar. But it's half time. We'll have a look once again, Don.
There from Windsor. Well, what? Now, it seemed very simple, didn't it? But
Hip injury, maybe?
well, yeah, it's really hard to say, isn't it?
Well, it's half time anyway. And a quarter that belonged to St Kilda getting into the breeze. They managed to boot 3 goals. And at half time, the scoreline showing the Saints 8-2-50, leading Brisbane 4-4-28.
Stuart Lowe's not there, Sandy. We saw him crash to the ground at the end of the second quarter, and he hasn't taken his place with the Saints in the second or third quarter, second half.
Well, that's bad news for St Kilda. Let's hope that it's not too serious, because they could well afford to lose him at this stage of the season. Atkinson gets it away to Nathan Burke. Burke pumps it up towards Lockett. Lockett has front spot. He charges to the football now, Tony Lockett. Gives it away to Anderson. Gets clear. Dean Anderson from 40 metres. Pulls it back in towards goal, and he's kicked it. Great start for the Saints in the second half.
Well, this is identical to what Brisbane did in the kicking the same way in the second quarter. It's the dry ball that's going to carry. This is exactly what Brisbane did do, and look at the carry on the ball from there, from Nathan Burke. Then it's fed off by Lockett. Anderson getting it and doing it well.
And with the rain falling at Waverley, I get the impression that the lights are on. Very, very dim conditions prevailing here. Anderson races for it with Gastev. Little kick off the ground by Anderson. Goes over for a boundary throw in.
It's going to make it difficult now for the Bears to catch. I know it's only 28 points, but listen, this could be, what, 50-odd points, I would say, in conditions like today?
Yes, most definitely. In the next 28 minutes with St Kilda, with the breeze at their back, it's very important that the Bears somehow hang on.
Well, what have Brisbane done with their forward line? They've got Pios down in the square. He's playing at full forward on Shanahan, and White's at centre half forward, so Merritt's not playing down there at the moment.
Oh, great mark taken by Grant. It was an excellent kick, first of all from Winmar, and Grant will shoot for goal from 50 metres, and it is a goal. So the Saints kick their second goal within a minute at the start of the third quarter, and they lead 10-2 to 4-4.
Well, I'm going to go for the records, because that's David Grant's first goal for the season, I would say, and what a magnet kick that was. Every bit of 55 metres, the drop punt. Just checking the record to see whether it is his first goal, because he hasn't played too many games this year, Sandy. That's David Grant, number 6, a regular here at St Kilda for a number of years.
So the Saints gain the ascendancy early in the second half. Noonan couldn't take it. Burke at the bottom for St Kilda. Brodie Atkinson there also. Fletcher played with Geelong and St Kilda. Adrian Fletcher still in the middle as the rain comes down again. Scott has a belt at it, but goes straight to Craven, who runs into Winmar. Nicky asked the question, but he gets no joy from the man in white. Gregg tries a second attempt thump. Buckley. Suspect hand pass over his head. Buckley again. Towards Pios. Bounces away from him. Taken by Pickett. To Burke. Over to Gregg. Can go further afield to Rice. He's on centre wing. These sort of conditions should suit him. To half forward. Anderson almost threw it out the back door. In fact, he did. So Gaster will take it from half back. Gives it away to Hart. A high kick up towards centre wing. Nathan Burke is there in opposition to Alexander. And the Saint number 3 takes the mark.
Nathan Burke, pretty good statistics. Away for Pickett, who also has played pretty well for
He's actually done well this year for St Kilda in the back pocket, Pickett.
Well, he's played every game, so the select high flyer. Chapman had his hands on the shoulders of Morris and gives away the free kick. So St Kilda would be a chance again if Morris thumps this, which he does. Slips off the side of his boot, and Noonan marks in front of Lockett.
Does that well, Noonan. I've watched him a couple of times. Does get in and cut the ball out well.
Kick goes wide. Fletcher can't control it. Fletcher looking anxiously back. But I think all criticism should be thrown out the door on days like today, because the players are doing fairly well, I would think. Windy, rain, hail, we've had everything. Winmar, attempted kick off the ground. Harvey into the action there with Danny Craven. The ball goes over for another throw-in. Just outside 50 metres for St Kilda. Bingham, Scott gets the tap out. Goes back to Atkinson, close to the boundary line. And he gets his kick in. It's very effective to the front of the goals. Lockett can't mark. Back goes McLean. He'll give away a behind, I would think, to St Kilda. So that makes the Saints now 10-3, Brisbane 4-4.
Humorous little thing down the other end, a bit of byplay down the other end of the ground. Jamie Shanahan, it's so cold down here, he's waving his arms around, also blowing into his clenched fist, trying to warm up the finger, so it must be extremely cold for the players, especially when you're not involved, as he isn't at the moment. He's playing at full back. There's Pios, and there's Jamie Shanahan, number 31. Cold man.
Ball's at the other end of the ground at the moment, with Rice, who virtually scoops it out the bottom. Fletcher gets away a short kick. Giorgio could have been held. He was, said the umpire.
Goal umpire a bit lucky that Tony Lockett didn't run into him then, Sandy.
John Giorgio coming up for kick number 5 from 52 metres. Couple of early goals in this quarter, allowing St Kilda to sneak away. Bears haven't added to their half-time score. St Kilda going with what breeze there is. Giorgio, centering kick. Lockett is in front of the pack. Just a fraction too high for Winmar. Bain gets it away to Ashcroft. Marcus runs the boundary line, then pulls it into Gastev. Ashcroft again, who's drifted down to half-back. Shepherding sees him clear. Goes to centre wing. Ball was held to Danny Frawley. Eventually got it out to Burke.
Well, that was throwing. Sure. Oh.
Too high.
Too high. So Nathan Burke on centre wing. Centering kick. His target is Rice. At the back was Pekin. McLean runs into trouble. That was Brodie Atkinson he ran into. Ridden into the ground was Noonan by Giorgio, and he'll take the free. Gets the hand pass off to Clark. The Bears away from half-back. Towards the centre of the ground they go. Buckley tries to surge it forward for Kennedy. White is having not a good day, but it's been very difficult, particularly as he started on Tony Lockett, and Lockett kicked 3 in the first and 3 in the second. Rice at centre, saying send it down to the forward line. That's exactly what they do. Grant has kicked 1. He's got a chance to kick another, just 40 metres out, directly in front.
He was on his own for a long time.
A long time.
David Grant. Drop punt looks pretty good. 2 goals to David Grant. And a good start for the Saints in this third quarter. They're 11-3, leading Brisbane 4-4.
Well, this is his first game for the season, David Grant. In dispute with the club over the summer months. And here he is, as it was called, a long time by himself. But is a prodigious kicker of the football, David Grant. We saw him let one go earlier for his first goal, and that was every bit of 55 metres. Plenty of confidence when he lined up for his second.
Well, St Kilda nearly getting the ball clear, but it was McLean who chopped it off for the Bears, away for Noonan. Noonan's kick to the 50-metre line. No mark taken. Shanahan, but chipping in is Buckley. Buckley's kick across his body will land in the goal square. Nearly the mark back there to Windsor, but St Kilda have got 3 on 1. And it's Pekin combining with Winmar, and away go the Saints. Winmar's little kick. Harvey dropped it, but he got the hand pass back to Winmar. Winmar, a short kick, and it's taken by Fletcher. Looking to play on. Kicks it high in the air, in towards centre half forward. Buckley nearly over the top of Whitman. Shanahan tries to get it back there to Whitman. He's forced to get it clear. Kick off the ground came from Pios, and it's close to the line. Eventually goes over for a boundary throw-in. left forward pocket for the Brisbane Bears. They kicked 1-3 in the first quarter going to this end. Bingham and Scott. Scott at the back, somehow gets it clear. But Atkinson, a little kick off the ground. Whitman drops it. Away goes Craven. Held and eventually made it look a little worse, I thought, than what it was. But the umpire awarding the free kick to the diminutive Brisbane Bears rover.
Who's going to have a problem making the distance.
Well, the umpire asking Danny Craven to take the football back because obviously he hadn't finished his duties. Now Craven will shoot for goal. Still looking to give the football off. Whitman's got Buckley nicely marked. Craven goes for the torpedo punt kick. It holds up in the breeze. Punched away by Bingham. Taken by Bain. Oh, brilliantly tackled. That was fierce by Nathan Burke. And down went Bain and the football over for a throw-in.
Frawley. Gathered front spot, but taken by Fletcher. Craven. Left foot snap is high. Winmar. Oh, almost. In fact, he's going to be paid. It's been busy, Nicky Winmar. 12 kicks, 2 hand passes. Pekin gives it off to the running Nathan Burke. The Saints away, in towards the middle. Just a little nudge by Morris, but it was subtly done. Russell Morris looking up forward. Another penetrating punt. Mark not taken by Grant. Atkinson, well claimed. Ball spills out. Brodie Atkinson, former North Adelaide player.
And Damon Shaw, Sandy, another first gamer warming up on the boundary line for St Kilda.
Burke, look at the determination of Nathan Burke. Burrows in, head down. Tap on to Morris. Now Harvey, Robert Harvey. Trying desperately to find some space to find Lockett. He's got to do it from behind. Play on. Anderson towards the boundary line. Keeps the ball in play, but he needs help. Gastev props over it. Devonport, it's away, but the whistle has sounded.
It's a better job by Murphy. He's playing in front. You can see there, playing in front of Tony Lockett. Though Lockett attempting, it was Murphy who had hands on the ball first.
Fletcher skis over the line. Adrian Fletcher started with Geelong, spent time down at Moorabbin.
It's a free kick, surely a free kick to Dion Scott.
Well, it's not, Don. Play goes on. It'll be a goal too to St Kilda through Nicky Winmar.
That is... Yes.
2 goals to Winmar. He kicked 1 in the first. 12-3. The Saints are careering away with this game. 4-4.
Oh, that's just diabolical. Watch Tony Lockett here. Look, if that's not a free kick, look. If that's not a free kick, I'll go he. The umpire's just not in the right position.
Yes, I have to agree with you because there's been some very, very ordinary ruck decisions this year given, haven't there? 12-3 to 4-4, St Kilda lead. We're about halfway through the third quarter, so they're really making it difficult now for the Bears as Winmar kicks it clear. Out in front of Gastev. He's got a few metres to spare, so can gather, have a look upfield, and kick. Oh, Buckley. No free kick forthcoming. Buckley skids across the boundary line. He's not happy. St Kilda defenders making it extremely difficult there. Pickett and Giorgio. Giorgio, one of the youngest players ever to play the game of AFL football when he made his debut with St Kilda at the age of about 16, I think, Don, wasn't he?
Yes, last year.
Well, it's been a couple of years ago now. I think he's about 18 now, I think, John Giorgio. But he's been in the wilderness a little bit. And good to see him back in this St Kilda side. Look at that real struggle for possession there. And have a guess who's on the bottom of this. The best little featherweight chance you've ever seen in your life. I'd love to have seen him in a boxing ring, Sandy. Nathan Burke, I reckon he'd have given you the best money job you've ever had in your life.
featherweight division.
Oh,
Featherweight.
my word.
Winmar from the middle. Long kick towards Lockett. Unable to take the mark. It's socked back towards Ashcroft, and he takes it.
Played well, Marcus.
Probably their best player today,
Yes.
Marcus Ashcroft.
15 kicks, 3 hand passes. Over the centre. Fine attempt by Frawley. Giorgio gets it away to Gregg. Back to Frawley. He's got Pekin running with him. Frawley to ground once. Pekin does the shepherding. He kicks up towards Lockett at half forward. There's a big pack there. Morris off the ground, but it ricochets backwards. Back to Ashcroft. Can he pick up the piece of soap? Now Fletcher off to Craven. The Bears up towards Nathan Buckley. Out in the sunshine. Buckley gets it away. David Baines under pressure. And Chris Whitman. Great tackling, great persistence.
I think that was one of his strong points when he was at Hawthorn, the fact that he didn't need to get a lot of possessions, but always was a fairly effective player, Chris Whitman. His good kick too, covers the pack. McLean at the back, finding it difficult at the first grab to control it. Then he gets a little left foot kick away and the mark is taken by Young Shaw. Kicks it quickly and Morris is marked within scoring distance.
Debatable whether it was a pass, but then again,
Not
if you
far
were
enough, you
sure,
think?
no, I thought he might have been going for a longer kick and just didn't quite get onto it.
Yep.
But he did find Morris with the kick.
Well, Morris has done pretty well, I think, for St Kilda in difficult conditions. A tall player. He's taken 8 marks. Then coming up for possession number 17, or disposal number 17. And he just stabbed at that.
Stabbed at that, didn't he? Really didn't follow through.
How many points out of 10 for that kick? About 4?
Well, yes, maybe 4, but I think you stab at it when you're a little bit closer to goal.
Kick in by Murphy. And he gets good distance too, well outside 50 metres. In goes Rice. Oh, kick off the ground by Ashcroft. Unfortunately for Marcus, Ashcroft goes out on the full free kick to Rice.
Dean Rice into the pocket. Atkinson and McLean, the 2 19s, see it over the line. For another throw in. Lockett. Seemed to come off the head of Scott, who's in there once again for Brisbane. Lockett. Yes. Well, he just surged it forward. He's kicked their 13th and his 7th.
Well, I've run out of space for all these goals Tony Lockett's kicked today. And as Sandy just said, he's kicked his 7th. Here he is contesting the ruck work. Ball in dispute, a pack. And it comes out to Lockett, who's just on the edge, and he just manages with his great bolt not to be pushed off the ball and just gets foot to ball as it goes over for his 7th.
Well, it's a top effort by Tony Lockett to kick 7 goals in these very difficult circumstances. The Bears get the ball forward. Fletcher off to Buckley. Buckley's kick. Pios nearly takes the mark. Shanahan making it very ordinary. Alexander. Oh, he bounces it through for a behind. And the oohs and ahs were quite prevalent then as Colin Alexander tried to bounce it through. Danny Frawley kicks it away for St Kilda. Well outside the danger area for the Saints, and Atkinson takes the mark. His short kick out into the path there of Bingham. The big fellow lumbering after it. On the bottom of that is Sean Hart, and Bingham gives away a free kick. Maybe a little crude there in his attempt to get rid of the football from Sean Hart. And Hart kicks the ball up near the 50-metre line. Good mark taken by Frawley. Looking to give the hand pass away, but no sirree, says Danny. I'll kick it long. Up goes Morris, kicked away there by Whitman, up to the 50-metre line. A real clash there between Rice and his opponent. McLean dispossessed, away goes Anderson. Anderson for his 2nd goal, and it bounces through. St Kilda surging forward, a 2nd goal to Anderson. 14-4, plays 4-5.
It was an enthusiastic build-up by St Kilda. A clash there between Rice and Craven. Michael McLean not quite controlling it, and there he is, Anderson, running on to his second goal of this third quarter. He has kicked St Kilda's 14th, and they're just going away with the game now.
Free kick out of the middle, going the way of the Saints, and Bingham pumps it high and long. And another free kick's been picked up, this time against Tony Lockett. So it's been a quarter that has belonged to St Kilda as Danny Noonan comes out of defence. They've opened up a match-winning lead with Fletcher now taking the mark on centre wing.
White coming off, Sandy, for Brisbane Bears. The White coming off and Fabian Francis coming back on.
Not exactly what White had in mind on his birthday. Alexander down towards the forward line, down towards Pios and Shanahan, and the latter sees it over the line.
Pretty stiff, wouldn't he, White, sitting on the interchange bench. Take you long to cool down today, sitting on interchange. Here's Roger Merritt. He must be injured, Roger Merritt, because I'd like to see him down on the forward line.
Scott doing battle with Bingham. Greg claimed by Fabian Francis. And the free kick going away to the Bear. Into the pocket. Pios is his target. Over the line and another throw in.
It really was an ordinary lead and an ordinary kick, because you'll never score from the pocket, David. There, you're kicking into the breeze and the angle.
Well, the way they set up, though, is that the players are obviously instructed to kick to Pios because there's a lot of space given to him in which to lead, and that's what they're doing, following the coach's orders.
It was Frawley who got the initial kick away. Now Troy Clark has got to backpedal a little before swinging round, kicking back towards the 50-metre line. Alexander at the bottom is going to pick up a free kick. And
no, 50, there's going to be 52, Sandy, so this is a lay-down misère. You'd have to go back onto the goal line. This
Justin Pickett was furious when the free kick was given.
I didn't think there was much in it to start with, let alone 50 metres.
Kenny Sheldon and Peter Hudson look on. Saints hierarchy, and there's a gimme goal. Saints fans not happy, but Colin Alexander has his first, and the Bears first for the quarter.
Yes, and here's the build-up. There's the 50-metre penalty. You can see there Devonport just dropping the ball, should have given it straight back to the player.
14-4 plays 5-5, 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and the Bears get a badly needed goal. Burke tries to break out of the centre. He's met solidly, gathered by Francis, can't control the football. Desperate stuff shown there by Shaw. The ball gets clear. It's kicked forward by Hart for the Brisbane side. Inside 50 metres, kick off the ground by Alexander. What can Pios do? Tries to gather it. Maybe a kick off the ground would have been better. That's what Shanahan did. It went out towards the half-back flank region where Bain, who really is struggling, David Bain, and it is a shame because he was a fantastic player for the Brisbane side for 3 or 4 years when they were playing most of their football down at Carrara. Here's a chance for Clark. Gets into the clear and kicks it to the front of the goal square. And that's a mark. Certain mark to Windsor, about 12 metres out directly in front. And here's a chance to kick his second goal.
That is no mean feat, because Danny Frawley, a very tough player. And you can see there Windsor using the body, not the hands, in flying for that ball, and in flight nudged Frawley out of position.
Windsor from directly in front hooks the kick. It's close. It's a goal.
There's been a bit of a fine for him, for the Bears. Windsor, Ray Windsor, the Queenslander, his second goal. And there he is on screen there. As Ian mentioned earlier, kicked a pressure goal a couple of years ago to draw the game up at the Gabba, not the Gabba, at Carrara. And there he is taking the mark. That's no mean feat against Danny Frawley. As I mentioned, Frawley, a very tough, dour type defender, negative defender. And there's the bench, Robert Harvey.
How'd you like those two on your bench? Jiminy cricket.
And Stewie Lowe definitely is injured.
Bad luck for Saints officials, playing in front of this crowd of just under 12,000, 11,748, and most of them under the eaves.
And Sandy, those under the eaves ought to pat one another on the back coming out here today.
Well, here's a 50 out of the middle for the Saints. Brody Atkinson.
I think the gates have been locked to keep them in here, Sandy.
Coming up for kick number 11. And a pretty good debut by this former North Adelaide youngster. Directly in front is Brody.
What a big fellow is he, number 19.
Away to the right.
A number made famous at St Kilda by one Alan Davis. He was a star at St Kilda in the late 60s. Actually, he played in their premiership side, their first and only premiership side. What was it, 1966? Yes, 1966 as a youngster.
Ashcroft's kick up towards the half-back line. Clark's got to beat a couple. Burke is one of them. Now, Nathan Burke will not let that ball go. Don't worry about that. Grand player, Nathan Burke. Could have given away a free kick on that occasion. Bit of holding on against Gastev. Johnny Gastev, kick number 10. The Saints in control of proceedings here at Waverley. Even though it's the Bears who've kicked the last couple of goals, they were the first 2 goals they've been able to manage for the quarter, which is drawing to a close.
Do you think Atkinson's got a future, Don? He's had, 15 possessions?
Yeah, a bit hard to say today.
Too early, yep.
Yeah, because, at his size, you've got to have a ton of pace, and really you can't show your pace, really can't show out on a day like today.
Craven swings round towards centre wing. Bain, an effective spoiler. Devonport couldn't take it cleanly. McLean was held, and he'll take the free kick. Ashcroft looking for the advantage. It will not be. He'll come back to Mick McLean. Disappointing day for the Bears. They would have come here full of optimism, hoping to get a win away from home. Pegan to Rice, off to Morris. If it sits, he's in business. Russell Morris on the point of the square. Heads for home. Heads for Lockett territory. Look at the strength. Misses what he normally would have taken then. Usually he's been able to use that bulk.
Well, Murphy's a big man too, Sandy.
Yep.
He's a strong player.
14-6. Plays 6-5.
I think the most frustrating thing for Tony there was that when the ball did hit the ground, he just couldn't quite get his foot to it. He was attempting to kick it off the ground maybe, and he's a little frustrated there as Murphy kicks the ball back into play. Pretty well straight up the ground, punched away from Scott by Bingham. Away goes Nathan Buckley, his 11th kick.
Oh, what a pass.
Nearly a mark to Windsor. Frawley. Peckett. Frawley may get a free kick here. He's on centre wing and he decides to play on. Look at that scintillating pace by the St Kilda captain, Danny Frawley. He kicks it into the centre of the ground. Tap on by Rice.
There's a free kick against
down goes
Gastev.
Anderson in trouble there.
Oh! Now, Gastev pushed Anderson fair in the back and it's finished up and against Anderson for not getting the ball out. But the free kick initially was to Anderson.
Well, the Bears have got the ball on centre wing. It's Troy Clark. His kick too wide there for Windsor. Maybe a kick off the ground. No, he keeps it in, only to the advantage of Frawley. Well done by the captain to Peckett. Peckett short kick. The mark is taken by Bingham. I think he's done very well for St Kilda. Lawrence Bingham. His kick across the centre of the ground goes to the right half forward flank region. A kick back, chance for Shaw. Gets into the action. So does Nathan Burke. Falling over.
Oh, he's hurt
allows
himself.
the pace of Craven to come to the fore. Burke in trouble, is he?
No, it's Shaw. It's young Damon Shaw who came on. I think he's dislocated a finger. He's calling to the bench. Come on, quickly, someone go and help him. He's in a lot of pain, that youngster.
Free kick is with Fletcher.
Oh, gee, look at the trainers. The doctor's just standing there.
In the meantime, Dom, the game goes on the ball with Gastev. There is the young man in question.
I'd like to see any way in
Shaw.
Sandy.
Gastev, centering kick. No mark taken. towards full forward. This time there is, and Danny Noonan will have a shot after Kyle Alexander's high kick.
There he's trying to still get his... Now he laid the tackle. Now that's a tremendous... Oh, that's tremendous stuff, young fellow. Now he's in a lot of pain, and he went down and laid the tackle on Alexander.
Well, he's just 19 years of age, recruited from St. Peter's.
Here's Noonan, 35 metres out, and he makes no mistake. Danny Noonan gets his first.
It's a real workhorse, Noonan, for the Bears. He's usually given a pretty tough job of nullifying one of the better players of the opposition. But as we saw on the statistics at half-time, he's well up there. I think it was into disposals, or was it kicks for Brisbane. Danny Noonan there, he's got the job on Nicky Widmar. Widmar started well too.
Back in the middle as we near three-quarter time. Atkinson couldn't get it clearly away. Fletcher got it off to Craven. High kick round his body towards the half-forward line. Bears are going to have to produce an extraordinary last quarter if they're going to steal the points here, because St Kilda at three-quarter time lead. 14 goals, 6-90. They booted 6-4 for the quarter. Brisbane a 7-5, 47. And here we are, just about set. Dion Scott, well, he was the one Don mentioned was given a tongue lashing by Robert Walls at quarter time.
Well, if he can smash the ball clear of the centre twice, and get them 2 goals in 4 minutes.
But they've only kicked 7 goals for the whole game.
Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. This ball is brand new. You're telling us that the brand new ball's used at the start of each quarter.
Righto, let's see what happens. 14-6 plays 7-5. The Bears wanting a couple of quick ones. Out of the centre, Clark gets the hand pass away to Nathan Buckley. Pulls it round his body. 12 kicks for Buckley. This is Ray Windsor. Late inclusion into the side at the expense of Martin Leslie. Down towards full forward. No one at home, however.
Chapman now playing at full forward too for the Bears.
Hart can't pick it up. And Fletcher, his teammate, goes in over the top.
I think they've got Bowie.
Bowie,
No, Craven. I'm getting confused, those two fellows in the forward pocket. So Pios, I don't know where Pios is. We'll have to try and pick him up.
Let's see what happens. It's on the 50-metre line for the Bears. They want an early couple of goals there to have any chance. Craven again, down towards the pocket. Picked up by Nathan Chapman. Pulled round his body, the youngster, and put through for one behind. Exciting prospect. 10 kicks, 3 hand passes for the day. 7-6 plays 14-6, so 7 goals even, gentlemen.
Shanahan kicks it back into play for St Kilda. The ball holds up in the breeze. It hits the ground. Clark and Burke. Clark gets the hand pass away. Kick off the ground by Atkinson. Pekin challenged by Francis. Pekin gets it clear. Gatherers by Whitman. Well done by Chris Whitman. And he kicks the ball back near the wing. Noonan, no, in front is young Shaw. And he takes the mark for St Kilda on centre wing. Snappy looking left footer too.
Done well at centre-half forward, Grant, since Lower's gone off.
The mark taken by Grant. He plays on quickly, but unfortunately for him, and good fortune for the Bears, Troy Clark chips in. He's played well. 20 possessions to the smaller player for the Bears. He kicks it wide out towards the half-forward flank. Fletcher, challenged by Atkinson, forces the ball over for a boundary throw-in. So at the start of the last term, when the Bears needed a couple of quick goals, time is frittering away. Dion Scott and Bingham. Down it comes to Atkinson, dispossessed. Ball still underneath Giorgio. Hart appealing for a free kick. Sean Hart just stopped still there, as if he was demanding a free kick.
Pios is off the ground. I can't see Pios, so I think he's the fellow going off for the Bears too.
Ball up on the outer side. Anderson and Gastev. Locked underneath Anderson. Eventually Bain gets it out. Down towards the right half-forward flank. Windsor ridden into the ground. Giorgio, well tackled. Francis, the advantage is paid for the Bears. Fabian's kick in towards full forward. No mark. Alexander is there. So too is Fletcher. chips away at goal. Good looking kick by Adrian Fletcher for a goal.
We just about have to nominate for that for the goal of the day, because it was on a very, very difficult angle, that of Fletcher. He's running deeper into the pocket.
Here they come,
as
Don.
he kicked it. Yes, and they've only got 6 to go. Can they kick those 6 goals? And here is Fletcher banging through the Bears' 8th goal for the day, and that was a good one too.
There's Merritt and Darryl White on the bench.
Well, Pios must be still out there then.
He's hiding behind one of those tall players with a goal stick. Here's Giorgio. Clark goes after it with more determination. It's up towards the 50-metre line. Clark's underneath it again. He gets it clear. Alexander, still a fight for possession. Fletcher appealing for the free kick.
I found him, Sandy. Paul Pios is on the back line. I knew he was somewhere.
Throw it in the air, the umpire does. Peckett gives it back to Frawley. Frawley kicks it clear. St Kilda out towards the wing, and a good mark taken by Winmar.
Always hurt himself too. Very slow to get to his feet.
The Brisbane player just falling on top of Nicky Winmar there. It's Noonan. Winmar's kick up to the half-forward line. It goes to the back. Gather well done was by Pios. Now a chance for Fletcher again. In there is Rice. Rice's kick off the ground. Gathers about 20 metres for his side. And a boundary throw in. It's about 60 metres around from the St Kilda goal. The Bears trail. They're 8-6 to 14-6. Dion Scott crushing into Morris. Ball hit towards the 50-metre line. Here's Kennedy. Chipping in there was Bain. Atkinson's underneath all that. So is Chris Whitman. The umpire will come in and throw it in the air.
Six straight. The margin. Burke claimed by Craven. Ball spills free to Noonan. And turned to Ashcroft. His kick drops short. And the mark taken for the Saints by Damien Shaw. The man from St Peters goes straight back to Ashcroft. He might go back to Shaw again.
A little bit of trivia for you, Sandy. The last fellow to come from St Peters, I think, was Robert Flower. It's a club in the Bentley area.
Thank you, Don. Peckett to the 50-metre line. Hammered over the boundary, another throw in.
I think you'll find that Robert Flower was recruited from Murrumbeena. He was only 17 years of age when he played his first game with Melbourne.
Well, here's the throw in anyway. So, well, the shepherding was meant to allow a run for Buckley. Instead, Winmar sockers off the ground, and it's taken over by Murphy. One behind conceded. 14-7. Those 8-6. Murphy.
As many record books as you've ever seen in your life are about to be taken from Don Scott's briefcase.
Murphy to the outer side. Use of the body by Rice. Allows him to take a fine mark. In towards half-forward. Lockett came steaming out. Morris shovels it out. Burke goes to ground. Lockett is there. The big man has it. This for number 8. Oh, yes! What a goal!
Well, there he is, the big fellow, number 4, Tony Lockett. It's a good day's effort when you can kick as many goals as what he has. There he is flying. Then he'll recover. Still following up, still involved. Now goes onto the left foot, and that is a great goal. Holding the ball across the body, going onto his left foot, which normally he kicks with the right. That's a good play.
Buckley tries to get clear, so does Allen. Here's Francis, kicks it in front of himself, or nearly kicking in danger against Peckett. Here's Alexander for the Bears, can't get his foot to the ball, just a fraction slow. Pekin, Shaw in trouble. Now a chance for Hart. Hart's kick up towards full forward. Chapman, ball goes to the back. Rice is there, so is Windsor for the Bears. Dean Rice dives on the football. Alexander tries to get it. So does Shanahan, goes back and gives away ground, and Frawley runs it over for a boundary throw-in. 15-7 plays 8-6 in the early part of the last quarter.
He's done well today, Frawley.
Ruckman, Bingham, Windsor. Ball comes to Frawley. Hand pass, Gastev. Umpire will have to throw it in the air once again. Frawley and Shanahan have done well in that last line of defence for St Kilda. Bingham gets it back to the captain, and Frawley, with determination written all over his face, kicks it out towards the wing. Burke can't take the mark. In there is Craven, helped out by Scott, but the ball spills for a throw-in. As far as St Kilda are concerned, they'd be reasonably satisfied. The Bears about to make a change. Darryl White going onto the ground and Fletcher coming off. Chance for Alexander, gets his foot to the ball, kicks it up to the front of the goals. Chapman, no, Shanahan comes clear and kicks it back near the centre of the ground. Greg handles the awkward ball nicely, away for Whitman. Whitman's kick up towards centre half forward, good mark in front of his face, taken by Grant.
David Grant goes on with the job down to the 50-metre line. Devonport from 52 metres. Where's Tony Lockett? Oh, Widmer!
Now the beauty of that, Sandy, is we couldn't capture it on the screen, but Widmer went past Grant for the first handball. Remember when Grant got the ball on the edge of the square and kept running, and he finishes up with the ball.
Well, this for his third and his 188th in his career. He won't miss. Saints are home.
Big statement.
If there was any doubt. 16-7. Plays 8-6.
Well, they've only got 8 goals to go now, St Kilda. Oh, I mean the Bears. And here's Widmer.
Oh, you're rubbing it in now, aren't you?
I only wish I had a bit of money on it. Actually, Widmer's got 2 jumpers on. That's how cold it is out there.
(16-7 to 8-6) with 16 minutes left in the last quarter. Scott for the Bears.
Got a big leap, Scott.
Bingham for St Kilda. Tireless display by Lawrence Bingham. Scott gets the tap out. Pekin gathers the ball and it slips out of his hands. Now it's Whitman, hand pass beautifully for Devonport. In turn for Bingham, and the big guy goes straight towards goal. No mark taken, ball hits the ground, Widmer. Handball Burke, Burke can cap off a beauty, but he misses to the left-hand side.
Didn't have that Shane Warne spin, Robbo, did it really?
No, but after 23 possessions...
Well, not many people can get the ball to spin like Shane Warne or turn like Shane Warne.
And 3 tackles. Nathan Burke's performance has been first class.
Murphy, straight down the middle. Chance for St Kilda once again. Kick is high from Whitman. Into half forward. Socket off the ground by McLean. To the defensive 50-metre line. Noonan is there. Danny Noonan picks it up. Kicks towards Fabian Francis, who is clean ball. Pekin. 180th game for Tim Pekin. Now Alexander pushed over the line as he took his kick. He gained 10 metres with the ball before it wobbles over the line. 15 minutes remaining in the final quarter. The Bears would be disappointed after doing so well as they have done this season at the Gabba. Would have come here with great expectations. But really the second and third quarters put paid to any chance they may have had after they squandered opportunities in the first. They kicked the early goal. Here's White. Into the 50-metre line again for the Bears. Alexander could be free kick.
Fair enough too.
He's going to be. David Shaw's not too happy about it, but Alexander will take it.
There's the free kick. You can see it's over the shoulder. an effort to punch the ball away. He has given away the free kick, Damien Shaw.
Cole Alexander, kick one in the third quarter. The distance will test him. Oh, he gets onto it nicely. In towards the square. But the big man of St Kilda. Biggest man against big.
Well, that was well spotted by the umpire. Very well spotted. Takes a courageous umpire to do that.
Right in, well, not right in front. It was then right in front, but he's pulled him round, Chapman. As you can see, close to the boundary line. He kicked the goal in the second quarter, Nathan Chapman. Being used as a young defender. And he's now kicked his second. So 2 goals to Chapman. 9-6, plays 16-8.
Earlier game this year, Chapman let one go at the MCG from the point of the square, a torpedo punt. It was a mammoth kick. And there's the free kick. You can see there how Shanahan was holding Chapman out. Wouldn't allow Chapman to get near the ball.
Scott gets the tap out again, and he's going to get the football back from Sean Hart. He gets his kick away, and the mark taken by Buckley. The rain's starting to fall once again as Buckley kicks the Bears up into attack, and a good mark taken will be paid to Chapman, and he's within scoring distance, I would suggest.
He'll be a player of the future, this fella. You can see there a very immature body. He's still a teenager. And when he fills out, becomes stronger in the upper body, he'll be a terrific player in AFL.
Chapman.
Distance won't be a problem here, Ian.
For his third goal. And it will be just 32 points the difference if he can kick this. He's off to the right-hand side. 2 goals, 2 for Nathan Chapman. So the difference is 43 points, 16-8 to 9-7. Just under 13 minutes left.
As it comes back into play, still away towards Rice, close to the boundary line. Craven keeps it in his hand pass up in the air. Bain working hard, as usual at the bottom of the pack, David Bain. There he is again. He's struggled to find the form that we know he's capable of this year. Spent considerable time for a number of weeks on the bench. Windsor doing the ruck work. Pekin gets a hurried kick. Dion Scott misses it, taken by Gaster. Flicks it round his body towards the 50-metre line. Bain steals it. Kicks in towards full forward. Chapman is forced to defend. Frawley, to the ironical cheers of Saint supporters, has a free kick. Goes right across. Where is it, says Brodie Atkinson? Around the body. He dives on it to make amends. And he persists, then he heads for the boundary line with not a lot of subtlety. In fact, he slapped it over the line.
Spurs lucky not to give away a free kick there.
Boy, wasn't he ever?
And here's why. Bang. Windsor beaten. Bingham having a distinct height advantage. Peck it off to Devonport. Windsor not happy. Justin Peckett to take the free kick. Shanahan at half-back. Giorgio, an awkward-looking left-footer going very wide, but a good mark taken by Tim Pekin.
It's back where Peckett kicked it from before.
Pekin towards centre wing. Morris, the spoiler from behind. White has not had a happy day. McLean round his body. Dropped by Bingham. Door opens for Gaster. Floats it in towards full forward. Clean bowls everyone. Peckett should be first to it. And he's able to clear. Sweeping the hand pass off to Whitman. And Whitman gets the Saints out of trouble. He finds Bingham.
Away for Giorgio. Giorgio forced to kick quickly with the left foot. Dean Rice is caught. Well caught by Buckley. Ball spills free for Bain. Could have nearly been a free kick to David Bain. The player really not going for the football. Bain, quick kick. Well gathered by Ashcroft. Ashcroft, his possession number 20. 25 to be exact. Here goes Clark. Clark for goal, and he's put it through. So the Bears get their 10th goal, and they trail by 37 points, 16-8 to 10-7.
Well, it's all started with a David Bain free kick, but that was to Marcus Ashcroft, who delivered the ball well, gone out of the game a little bit. Ashcroft was a good player first half for the Bears. Nobody between Clark and the goals, really. He could run in as far as he'd like. And he put through his first for the game, and the Bears' 10th.
24 possessions for Troy Clark, his first goal. Russell Morris being spoken to by the umpire.
Maybe abusive language or disputing a decision.
And for a man of his experience,
and at this stage of the game,
yeah, one wonders why. The Bears about to get the ball clear of the centre. No, they're not. Whitman dispossessed, taken by Ashcroft. A high kick, and nearly a mark taken by Francis. He's got the football, grabbed by the other arm by Shaw, and he's going to get a free kick. What for? He had the
pushing in the back. The umpire deemed it was in the back.
Okay, Francis kicks the Bears to the goal line. The ball goes to the back. The race is on. Back goes Frawley. Kicked off the ground by Alexander. No, he can't get to it. And Peckett gives away a behind to the Brisbane side.
Frawley hurt his shoulder there. You can see they're favouring the right shoulder.
9.5 minutes left. 6 goals the difference. 2 quick ones from the Bears, and it's anyone's game.
Anyone's game.
The optimist. Rice. From half back. Goes to centre wing. Target was Morris. Fisted away was Kennedy. Down in front was Gastev. On to Hart. Left foot kick. Into the wide open spaces. Ashcroft starts to sprint for the ball. 40 metres out. He should kick a goal.
Now the angle was a bit difficult, Sandy. A little acute.
Ooh, just missed. And Marcus Ashcroft posts Brisbane's 9th behind. 10-9. Plays 16-8. It closes Robbo by another point. Rice in the pack. Atkinson waiting down. Pekin gets that slippery ball. Gives it off to Dean Rice. Kicks towards centre wing. Morris got a hand to it before it went over the line. And a throw-in will take place. 18 possessions for Russell Morris today. Bingham wins it to Anderson. Off to Whitman. 2 former Hawks. Tap on by Gregg after he couldn't take it cleanly. Now to Winmar. It came initially from Grant. That ball goes over the line. Throw in St Kilda's right forward pocket. Very good day for Nicky Winmar.
Kicked 3 goals too, Sandy.
Yes. Scott. Gregg. Atkinson. Will this be a Rovers goal from Brodie Atkinson?
Oh.
Bang! He hit the post and Tony Lockett is standing there.
I thought he was going to go onto his left foot, then he didn't really know what he was going to do. In 2 minds, Brodie Atkinson. He pinched that well.
Big Tony wasn't in 2 minds. He said, give it to me.
He was not in 2 minds at all. Murphy. To half back. Pios. Rides a couple of bumps, but the ball spills free. Shaw down towards full forward. Gregg, little chip for Lockett. How's that for unselfishness? What a clever little chip too.
It was a nice little chip to the green, wasn't it, if you were using a golfing term? Wish I could do those. When I get near the green, I go to water. But green Dean Gregg. Here, watch this. Nice little chip. Sets Tony Lockett up. His 9th, I think.
Yes, yes. Kicked 3 in the first Dom, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, and 1 so far in this quarter.
And also he's kicked 8-1.
Excellent kicking for goal with a heavy ball.
This year, 26-7 he has before he came into this game, so it's good conversion rate.
This for number 9. He's made no mistake. Great effort by Tony Lockett. 9 goals to the Saints spearhead out of their tally of 17-9. Brisbane at 10-9.
Well, it was good play and composure by Dean Gregg. There's the young fellow, Damon Shaw. Kennedy spilling what he really should have taken. Lockett by himself. Clever chip, actually, by Dean Gregg.
So the ball back with the umpire in the centre of the ground. Tony Lockett, 9 goals, 1. And he really has been the difference between the two teams from about the 20-minute mark of the first quarter. Here's a chance for Pekin. Pekin's kick up towards centre-half forward, punched away by Pios from Grant, but Grant recovers quickly. Still got the football, David Grant. Gets it to Anderson, tackled by Gastev. Didn't have the football, according to the umpire. The free kick will go to Anderson.
Will he be quick and try and get it down to Lockett?
Anderson from 50 metres. Kicks into the front of the square. Lockett!
Yes!
Fair enough. Well, 10 goals on a day like today has got to be, well, certainly 3-vote material. As far as
Well, his
I'm
career
concerned.
average, when you look at it this year, he's only played, 5 games. Coming into this, he kicked 26, so that's 5 to 6 average he's had this year. His career average is between 4 and 5. And here he is coming up for number 10, so it's a above-average performance by Tony Lockett.
Well, he's got to take it to nearly over 5, doesn't he? It was 4.85, 168 games, 815 goals. And he's going for his 10th goal today. Oh, he's a good kick.
Kicked it. 10 for Tony Lockett.
As the crowd files out at Waverley, Tony Lockett, his 10th goal. The game over, only 5 minutes left. A little bit of a lull in the middle part of the game. I suppose you could say Tony Lockett only 1 goal in the third quarter, but he had 6 up till half-time. Certainly come home with a full sail. Wet sail, we'll say in sailing terms.
Back in the middle. 5 minutes remaining. Can he add to that? He kicked 12 last time these two sides met. Nathan Buckley will pump it down to Lockett territory from 60 metres. A high kick. Lockett's getting back. He's taken the mark.
Free kick. Oh, it's got to be a free kick.
Not paid.
Oh.
Now it's a free kick to the Bears. And
Oh,
Lockett's
don't blame you,
Come
Tony.
on. But it falls on deaf ears. Pios clears to the half-back line. Buckley sees it over. Let's have a look, Don.
Lockett behind. There's the free kick. Sure.
Oh, dear.
There was around the neck initially, and then he was pushed into the dirt.
Throw in on centre wing. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Gastev in front of Devonport. Oh, stolen by Burke. He's going to give Tony another chance. Off to Anderson. Where's Lockett? Anderson goes for goal.
Lockett was too close then.
Yeah.
He was too close to Anderson.
1 behind the result. 18-10. Goes 10-9.
He's kicked 2-1 today, Dean Anderson.
Still Tony Lockett having a conversation with the central umpire as Murphy kicks the ball back into play, straight down the ground. The mark is taken by Scott. Handball away for McLean. McLean goes further for Noonan. In turn, back in towards the centre. Looking for Clark, but it's chopped off by Whitman. In turn, chopped off by White. McLean tackled by Rice. Rice looking for the free kick. The umpire will throw it in the air. And the players just getting a little frustrated. But the umpires haven't done a bad job. 37 free kicks to the Bears, 31 to St Kilda. And Dean Rice eventually gets his rewards. A little kick. Burke, hand pass. Back away for Devonport. Devonport into the pocket. Lockett gathers it beautifully. Round onto the left foot. And he goes long with a lovely kick. What a goal!
Oh, number 11.
Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. Shepherding by Winmar, but the kick from 50 metres.
On the left foot.
That was unbelievable. That's his second goal on the left foot today. The other one he held across the body. But here he is. Look at this.
There's your goal of the day.
Aided by the shepherd from Winmar, but still it was a great effort.
Who would have thought, if you saw the conditions today,
Well,
Lockett
those
would have kicked 11?
hailstones.
It was in the second
That's
term.
right.
Terrible.
The last 2 times these sides have met, Lockett's kicked a total at the moment of 23 goals. Bain out of the middle for the Bears, up towards the half-forward line. Frawley attempts to soccer off the ground, ricochets the other way. Now a chance for Whitman. Shanahan. Hurried kick through the arms of Troy Clark initially, but he backs up back to Bain. David Bain, a little chip out wide to accommodate Ashcroft. He's probably been the Bears' best player, Marcus. In towards goal he goes. Can Frawley get there? I don't think he can. It's a great goal.
Actually, we're seeing some great goals being kicked here. That's Marcus Ashcroft's second goal, or first, is it? I thought, no, I'm getting confused with Fletcher. He kicked one from out there before, but that is his first goal. Fletcher kicked a ripper too, but this one skids. As soon as it hit the turf, it went through.
I love it, Sandy. Hey?
Great stuff.
Yes, it's fantastic footy in conditions that have been extremely difficult since the rain and hail fell in the second term. 19-10 to 11-9. We've still got 2 minutes left. Bain throws his foot at the ball and can't get it clear. The umpire will have
That
to
7
throw it
goals
in
is
there
looking
once
good too. It's now 8, Ian.
and the umpire throws it in the air once again. Scott gets a good fist to it. Centre half forward. Whitman is there for St Kilda. Went to deliver the hand pass and was dispossessed. A little touch on it by Clark made it held in just forward of the centre circle. That's Chris Whitman. Scott again gets a big punch to him. Atkinson dispossessed. And the umpire will be forced to throw it in the air once again. Whitman 11 kicks and 5 hand passes for St Kilda. But Lockett, what about his performance up at full forward? He's had 12 kicks, 3 marks, 11 goals, 6 marks rather, and 11 hand passes. McLean just gets his left foot to it. We're down to a minute. Rice can't take the mark. Kick off the ground by Buckley. Kick off the ground by Alexander. In comes Shanahan. Alexander still racing for the football. In front, and he eventually just gives a little kick to it, and it goes over for a throw-in.
Alexander appealing for a free kick. He thought he was pushed in the back by Shanahan.
49 points the difference. Bingham in front, gets a fist to it. Ashcroft can't break clear. The ball very difficult to control. Young Shaw forces it forward.
Oh, clever.
Anderson into the hands of Rice. Rice 2 taps on the ground. Goes up in the Lockett direction. Big plugger. Got it again. Kicks it into the square.
Free kick.
Winmar. Yes, it is a free kick to Nicky Winmar.
He certainly could have kicked it then, Tony Lockett. That's unselfish play, giving it across to, or trying to find Winmar.
Well, I think the boys will enjoy their festivities after this game by the look of that. Dean Gregg and Tony Lockett. Winmar. He's only 2 metres from goal. He's kicked 3. He's now kicked 4.
And there's the siren. Winmar and Lockett embrace. They kick 15 between them. What an effort. And the Saints run out very comfortable winners. Mickey McLean has a chat with Russell Morris. It was a vital game for both sides today. The loser could really say farewell to their finals aspirations for 93. The winner will go on. And the honours are with Tony Lockett and St Kilda. He's led the way with 11 goals. An outstanding achievement in these conditions. Gets gets a rousing reception as he leaves the ground.
He's got to be one of the biggest guys ever to play this game in presence and physique.
Well, he's one of the best too.
Harvey in trouble there, Sandy.
Left
Left
knee.
leg very heavily strapped.
That could be bad news for the Saints, but time will only tell. Let's see the final score here at Waverley Park. St Kilda running out comfortable victors. 20 goals, 10, 130. Brisbane disappointing, 11-9, 75.